So the most common conversation I've had this week is like I've done some catch-up calls with Standout PT grads, and I've done calls with people that haven't started yet. And everything is all around like the niche thing.
Yeah.
Who do I work with? What does my business look like? All that kind of stuff. But one of the graduate, or two of the graduate conversations that we had, you and I have had conversations about off camera as well, that I found really interesting. During that chat, I was like, how long you guys been PTs for? Like, 4 years. I'm like, bro, 4 years in, I was training mums.
Yeah.
Jace was still training mums.
Yeah.
Like, probably had, I said at the time, I maybe had one of my clients 4 years in would be a client of mine now.
Yep. Same.
Yeah. It's like you don't.
They're so impatient, man, because they just what they get to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We talk about it all the time.
So do you think, this is where I'm torn, right? As a mentor, I'm like, do it faster, go get the thing, chase, work hard, like build that authority and stuff. My niche happened organically.
Yep.
Like I just got a couple of people that wanted to look good and wanted to be strong, and because I had a physique-based background and I was heavily into strength training myself, the two came together really, really well. And the demographic I got along with really, really well. I think you probably nurtured yours more. Maybe not, because you just became the physique guy in the gym. So anyone that had a physique goal that wanted to be strong, wanted to work
I kind of
with
walked in there the day one, like with the goal of doing that.
Yeah.
You know, because I just came out of uni, like, and I was training to try and bodybuild.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this is how I train.
Yeah.
And this is how I want to.
But it just happened. I guess what I mean is like it happened over time. Like you still had
of course, yes.
fat loss clients, mums.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
CrossFit, fucking.
Yeah, I didn't get
all sorts of
frustrated.
shit.
I never got frustrated to the point where like I didn't want to do it anymore because I was working with like Jane, who like only wanted to come to the gym when I was there.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like it's good to niche down and it's absolutely fine to go all in.
Yeah.
But I feel like where the wheels fall off for people, which, you know, kind of clips their wings a little bit, is they get disappointed when they have to show up for these other people that they currently work with. And it's like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just flip a switch instantly and just have a book full of like clients that are just dedicated and committed and, you know, working for a very specific outcome. Like, you still got all of these people that you've worked with for a period of time. You're just trying to gravitate towards these people. So you can't get frustrated and pissed off and stuff like working with these people right now. It's kind of like a bit of a rite of passage to move over here, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like you have to create them, hey?
Well, you got to create a lot of them because no one's going to respect you if you don't.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to, like, if you don't create them, you're competing with everyone else who has created them, who knows more than you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
done it more.
Without trying to sound like a dick, but sometimes you kind of have to. It's like you're competing with me and you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like years of experience, way better spoken at the moment, same education, but the way to apply it is faster.
Yeah.
Probably a little clearer in direction, way more confident in projecting.
Yeah.
So, you know,
The stack of proof's just higher.
picking the side, you know, we can just be like, nah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, don't do this type deal.
Yeah.
So you've got people looking at that, and then you've got people looking at this person who's a bit newer in, and it's like, well, you're directly competing with that if you're not going to create your own.
Yeah.
And I think that's a way tougher space to get into.
Yeah. So what I've been thinking is like what you can curate potentially in your face-to-face business is personality.
Oh, absolutely.
So you can decide what type of person you work with.
Mm.
Because I think in a face-to-face environment, it's pretty easy to turn over clients.
Yeah.
And like if you're listening and you're like having trouble filling your book and all that kind of stuff, like it's about output. Like you're not making the calls, you're not walking the floor, you're not talking to the people, you're not booking the sessions.
That's it.
Like that's not a skill set thing, that's not anything. It's just like you're just not doing the reps. It's actually simple. Maybe you have some resistance, so easy is the wrong word, but it's very simple to get new clients in your face-to-face business.
Yeah.
So if it's simple to do that and you can replace someone, if you get 6 weeks into a relationship and you're like, it's a 12-week minimum term and you can see that it's not working, it's quite easy to be like, as a relationship thing, I hate hanging out with you. Like, you know what I mean?
And say it to them just like that.
Yeah, fuck them. So, and I think, in my experience, they leave anyway.
Of course.
Like, I think
if you don't vibe, no one's hanging around.
I think I've never actually told someone I'm not working with you anymore.
So like when we go to sack people, they quit.
They leave anyway. They know. They feel it fucking coming.
They feel it.
Yeah.
They feel us pulling the gauntlet up.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we've got a maybe Tam's a fucking snitch.
Yeah.
Send messages out.
Hey man, you got to get out now.
Fuck them before they fuck you. So, I don't even remember where I was going with that now.
I'm just here for the ride right now. My short-term memory is terrible, so
Jason's recovering from a migraine, and I'm
yeah.
just recovering. Yeah, so it's easy to replace those clients, and I think if you don't vibe in that first 12 weeks, they're probably going to be the ones that don't stay anyway.
No, absolutely.
And that's fine. You just grab another one.
Yeah.
I think the ratio is probably 20 to 30% if you're pulling clients in. Like, if you're doing the phone calls and stuff, like, you'll miss sales because you don't vibe. They'll tell you it's money, but it's because you don't vibe.
Yeah.
Then you'll lose people at the 12-week mark because you don't vibe. So, yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. And what I said to the boys I was chatting with, I was like, why don't you just go work with people that you get along with? They don't have to be physique athletes. They don't have to have weapons. They don't have to fucking weigh everything to the gram.
Because you probably can make them if you get along, right?
Yeah, and that's like, I was the most adherent clients I've had, if I look at like the top 10 ever, I'd say 7 of them worked 9 to 5 jobs or that turned into 9 to 6 jobs because they were just that way inclined. They were just high achieving people that didn't want to compete, didn't care about, like, I got them to do bikini pageants and lift-offs and stuff, and I was like, hey, do you want to go do powerlifting? Because, like, you know, you'd place. Like, no.
Yeah.
But check-in was perfect every week. Everything was adherent every week. Everything was fucking, like, just beast mode all the time.
Yep.
But they just weren't motivated by that side of things.
Yeah.
But had great conversations with them, very similar values, would still, like, hang out with them and chat with them now. Like, it's like they don't have to... Just niching on the goal outcome in a face-to-face environment too early, I think leaves you frustrated because you're like, I just want someone that eats fucking chicken and rice.
And just as a reality check for everyone else, like if you and I had to go back to the gym to rely on an income stream from face-to-face, like there's a bit of natural selection there.
Yeah.
But there's probably some people that sit either side that you're like, sure, I would do it. Especially if you wanted that income stream and you know, you're paying rent and make it worth it and stuff. It's like, when we open up our face-to-face, that it's probably going to be more of a, this is what I want to do and who I want to work with. But yeah, it's like 12 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
Not saying it takes that long, but it's a little bit more down the road, that choice or
I've actually,
for most people, you know.
I've had the thought of like, every time I go, not every time, but when I walk into Body Blitz every now and then, I'm just like, fuck. There's one male trainer.
Be fun.
There's one male trainer there. He's real young.
Yeah.
Like there's no big personality. I had someone, like, I think he's asked me 5 times.
Yeah.
He's like, can you coach me? And ironically, he's like really annoying, so I wouldn't want to. He
wants a face-to-face.
He goes, mate, I'll pay you $90 for an hour. I was like, mate, when I left 4 years ago, I was charging 110. And he was like, oh, fuck.
Good on him, though. Good on him.
I'm like, you know how you think I'm good and you've seen my like he found me on Facebook and shit? I'm like,
I love that.
Yeah, like this is not, we aren't talking about the same thing here.
I love how that was his go-to. I'll pay you $90, bro.
Yeah. Like, I think he started at 60 and just like kept putting it up. And I was like, mate, I was getting 110 before I left. He's like, oh. Okay. But yeah, like I would go in there and I would probably train 45-year-old men.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Because it's like there's a young, jacked female coach in there already. I'll get some of them that want to work with a male coach and then all the corporates. Yeah. It's like, well, over time, maybe I would accumulate an athletic population. But I'd expect that to probably take 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
Unless I pushed external marketing.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
But even then, it's still like if you're trying to
Who's
get
in the
that
town?
just from the gym, correct?
Correct.
You can't change what people like to do,
Yeah.
or where they live.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's still a very big reflection of who's walking in the door.
yeah. So then it's like, oh, I moved to what was Powerhouse in Sunbury. That's a bodybuilding gym. It's like, cool. Maybe I'll get some bodybuilders there. And it's like, well, no one hires a coach there. And no one's going to pay $120 an hour for a coach there. So it's like,
Yeah, so it's the juggling act, right? Which ball do you throw?
yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's, I think, yeah, knowing the skill set we have now that we'd still do that in that
Yeah.
environment, I think, yeah. I if I did it though, I would be I want to hang out with the right people, not
Yeah.
goal based.
Yeah. So I don't sound like an asshole the whole time. I do understand it might be really frustrating with where a lot of people are. Like, they've done a little bit of work to get into the industry. Let's be real. Like, once you're 12 months in, statistically, you've done a fantastic job to keep yourself in the industry.
Probably in the top 10%.
Correct. So then, the second year, the third year, and then the fourth year, like, people are like, oh, I've been in this
Your
game.
apprenticeship's done.
Yeah, I've been in this game for long enough. I should be, making good money. I should be working with these people. Like,
Yeah.
there's trajectory that I want to see. The hard part is that if you're working off a demographic, and let's say it is young kids who want to get huge,
Yeah.
if you don't create them, they're just going to go straight. You're going to think about their mentality. They're going to skip straight to the dude that's already there.
Yeah.
So that's where we're just banging on that drum of like creating them. The more you get, you show people that you can create them, the more likely people who aren't where they want to be will go, oh, this person will get me there.
Yeah.
Because they're not always going to gravitate just towards like some people are intimidated of like the big jack dude.
Yeah.
But they probably still want to be shredded, a bit more muscle
shape,
than they have
whatever,
now, whatever. So if they see coaches churning out results with people, it's like, oh, that person looked like me, and now they look like this. Like,
Yeah.
they're not gonna gravitate towards the person that when these coaches and trainers actually sit back and get frustrated, they're like, oh, I want to work with these people. They look nothing like this person.
Yeah.
So they're just totally missing a portion of the market that they're really able to kind of attract.
Yeah.
And yeah, which is totally normal, because then they're looking at, maybe the person that can already squat, 2 times their body weight, like for you example, maybe the person that's already, 6 to 12 months out from a bodybuilding show or something who wants to do well. Like,
I was telling the same group, I'm in a tough situation at the moment where I had 9 competitors, 12 tests, so 12 results that are all testing. And 9 of them are in soft suits at comps. And that's not actually who I target. I'm not out here like I'm a powerlifting coach. It's not my thing. So
I remember at one point you were like, this could be my last powerlifting comp. It was like last year.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you've got even more powerlifters.
I want to talk about that as well. But it's like, at the moment, I'm putting out results posts. I'm like, fuck, can I just drop all these in a week?
Yeah.
And then get back to body composition, working on weaknesses, lifestyle shit, like I'm really getting back into content now this week, which has done terribly, by the way.
You're getting punished.
Fuck, man. Rough. Yeah. So yeah, just like, I am actually apprehensive of ending up that guy. I don't want a full book of competitors.
Of course.
I like building them, but I've built a few, and then I had like, hey, you did that for them. Can you do it for me? And they were already like, I've got a comp in 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever.
Yeah.
And I want to do this. I'm like, fuck, we're okay.
Yeah.
So I think that is also why, like, yes, I'm getting punished for not showing up since my kid was born, but also people are like, you're the powerlifting coach. Then I'm like, what's more important than an external goal? Your values. And people are like, what, motherfucker? I just want to totem more.
Yeah, just get me to the platform, big dog.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, it's like a rebranding shift back to like what I'm good at. So that's been, I'm just like having that conversation in my head of like, it'll take 6 weeks, it'll take 6 weeks, it'll take 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like actual getting some traction going again. And obviously, like, because of the way I'm just doing my content based on the pillars and mentalities first.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the boring one.
You've just got to get over the hump.
Yeah. So it's just like, get through that. And then like, oh, cool. So he does talk about like training and nutrition and shit. Yeah. Which I haven't done in a really long time either.
Yep.
So
That'd be good.
It'd be interesting.
Good to see.
So and that's the other thing is the powerlifting thing. So nationals with Mads last year, I was like, I knew the two girls that competed with Mads when she competed were probably touch and go in terms of whether they'd already kind of shown signs of like, I want to do running, I want to do whatever. I'm like,
This has an expiry date.
yeah, it's just like maybe you'll compete, but you're not going to be like a fucking competitor.
Yeah.
It's just like I'll do it for fun and I'll do other shit.
Yeah.
Do some bodybuilding, do some running, do some powerlifting, which I love coaching.
Yeah.
But I kind of took just a minute at nationals. I was like, this could be it for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, the ride could be.
yeah, like Mads will
Yeah.
probably want to come back and she'll improve and that'll be cool.
Yeah.
But this might be kind of, I was running at the time. I think I'd just done my first 5K. Like I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. This is, it's probably the end of an era for me. And I was like, I'm just going to appreciate this for what it is.
Yeah.
And this is literally the biggest powerlifting team I've ever had.
I think I had
A year later.
I think I had a moment like that at some point now, and then now look at me as well. Like,
Yeah.
So I think like things have lined up, obviously, because you're just persistent. I think.
Yeah, well, it's just getting, I think maybe that mindset was like, don't talk to them. I wasn't interested in talking to powerlifters. I was interested in talking to people that wanted to look good and lift heavy. So just went back to that.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, well, I am interested in competing, but I also want to look good. You've done the competitor thing before, and all this still lands with me.
Yeah.
So let's do the comp thing.
Yeah, I get it. You also created more options for your clients who then decided to go down a pursuit. So let's just, we haven't said her name, so we'll use Jess as the example, right?
Yeah.
So come out, like post-baby, get back in shape, wanted to feel like herself.
Yeah.
So you facilitated that. She got a bit fitter. She was already a pretty good, kind of athlete overall with a really good training base.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, I'm going to do the strength training thing.
Yeah.
So if you looked at Jess straight away and went, oh, you're not going to do powerlifting, so I don't want to train you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, she's number 2 in the country.
if she didn't want to be a bodybuilder,
Yeah.
right? It's like, take the same for like, oh, you don't want to commit everything to this and be like the best bodybuilder ever. I'm not going to train you, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, think about the last 18 months. It's like, how does that look?
Yeah.
You training her and getting all of these results. And all it takes is then for like someone who's seen that go, who's probably interested in powerlifting, go, oh, I want to do that. And then just competes and it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to hire this coach.
Yeah.
Like that's a really good example of like what can happen when you give people a chance.
Yeah.
I said that in the coaching unit the other week. I'm like, don't treat your clients like they're not capable. Treat them like they're the most capable and work
back.
down.
Yeah.
Because then you'll go, oh, this person could be living and breathing, and because maybe they don't live and breathe it right now because they're not getting the return they want.
Yeah. And those clients that I was talking about, you'll have office workers with like roadmap backs and capped delts and abs that don't care about like getting on a platform or whatever, but they're in wicked shape.
Yeah. And your sessions would be fun and the conversations you have about training would be good. You just never gave the person a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were just an office worker that
Yeah, and they probably didn't believe that they could ever get there because they've never had the right support.
Yeah.
So
Correct. Yeah.
like if I remember Ben and cheerleader Ben?
Yeah.
Imagine if like the first time I saw him, I'm like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
And then like he become like this ridiculously good athlete, like jacked. He was strong, he was fit, and we had the best time working together.
Yeah.
But if I like just took it at face value, like, oh, you're not gonna get to this.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna bother. Like, and that would have opened up a lot of doors, even just people looking at us train in the gym.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's really. Yeah. So do you think? So this was interesting, right? So I had like 3 of these conversations with similar depth in the industry.
Yeah.
Doing really well, but think they should be doing better.
Which everyone thinks. So
yeah. So I was
included.
I was bringing up different different Instagram pages in our circle and then how people execute stuff. And one of the threads that I found that's really important is what's it like to be a client of yours? So the marketing company that we're working with for the gym that's upcoming, we're like, we need you to send us as many photos of you can find of people doing the thing and smiling.
Yeah.
They're like, it doesn't matter if it's staged. Like, We used to just get all the mums in and just tell rude jokes and take photos of them laughing about it.
Yeah.
It's like that. You just need that. And then I was like sitting down with a couple of these coaches, and it was like, this one image one of the females coaches had was like, both girls were henched, knee sleeves, hack squat or pendulum squat. One of them's in the bottom of the pendulum squat, just like fighting for her life. The other one's like hands on hips, watching over the top. And I was like, this looks like a fucking Lee Priest movie.
Yeah.
I think it's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
But do the people that you want to turn into that, are they looking at that going, I could never train with her? And that's what I said. I was like, how many of your clients would come to that session?
Yeah. Yeah. Compared to how many do you want?
Yeah. So I was like, let's see. And then like the best example of that I could find, now we're just going to talk about it the whole time, was Jess. You jump on her social media, like we lean heavily into like the wording. Here's the headings. Like if you land on our profile, there's lots of like poppy headings and stuff. Jess has nothing. It's her lifestyle, and then her clients having a good time.
Yeah.
And you're just like, another client, even at a powerlifting meet, smiling, hugging, having fun, doing stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just like, so it just looks a really good time to be one of Jess's clients.
Yeah.
And it's no wonder she's so successful. But then I looked at yours and I was like, fucking Jason has no clients on his.
I was like, I might have pinned on the front. I got 10.
Yeah, but as results, right? So
I
wonder,
yeah. Yeah, I got no clients on mine. I mean, I do every now and then, but I just don't visit it as much as probably I should.
Yeah.
Because when we're hanging out, we ain't smiling, that's all.
Correct.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, one of the male coaches, I was like, who you are in the gym in a set is not who you are in your rest period, who's not who you are at lunch.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe you need to showcase that a bit more. The hanging out, having a good time thing to get the people you're looking for to come through.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you're going with the kind of hang out, like want to enjoy the time.
Yeah, I think that's
thing.
how you get the people that want to be, that you could turn into the thing.
Yeah.
When you're at a reputation level.
Yeah, you'll get these ones a little further down the road.
Fucking train half one country town.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
every bodybuilder in that town's like, he's the guy. So until you have that, you don't have someone else selling it for you, other people selling it for you.
Yeah.
Do you have to have this like, oh, actually, like that looks
like a good time?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if you don't have that, you're competing with what we just spoke about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to find something that is different. So those people do come to you, and you can take them up. And then it just takes. So once you build a few of them, then you'll get some people looking at the end result, but they're just below that, but they're way more advanced than when the person was. Because that's how I got to. Like I created a lot of them, but I also get some that are there.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, but that's only because they saw an end product of me creating them.
Correct. And I'm the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've got the two powerlifters that I took on that had done novice meets before referenced people that had never competed when I started coaching them.
Yeah.
And were like, I saw what you did with, so I want.
Yeah.
So it's 100% that. Like you've got to build the social proof with what the crop you've got.
Yeah, and it's just there's something to that when you know you can do it.
Yeah.
Language, bravado, whatever you want to call it, energy, confidence. Like you just carry yourself differently.
Yeah.
And you the connection is there once you have that, you know.
Yeah. Do you get annoyed when you get more experienced people because they're like they know stuff, but they don't know stuff?
I haven't had a person come in with a wide variety of experience.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
So again, another kind of insight into someone 15 years in. It's just a very specific type of client.
Yeah.
You know, working out for a bit, and they're just
now it's time.
Now it's time to go.
Yeah.
Dialed in.
Yeah. Which I think that's my market as well. Like I'm a novice to intermediate powerlifting coach.
Yeah, I think I prefer that anyway because I can. It's like, you know, like if you're a a driving instructor and they're like, is this your first time in the car? And they say no. And they're like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
where-
so that's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
yeah, it's like to get your license, which will allow you to drive.
Yeah.
You know, so we're like to take you to this next level of like, you know, training.
Yeah.
I just want to be like, this is how you do it. Where if I had an experienced trainee and they're like, oh, I did this with my old coach and this and that, and I'm like, well, yeah, we don't do it like that.
Yeah.
Like-
That's yeah. And from a powerlifting standpoint, it's like the time. It's like you don't the two that came last year, I like didn't have time. Like I've normally encouraged you to move the
Made
way
you.
I want you to move.
Mm.
Based on programming, queuing, whatever. Like we've had
Course.
time and like I remember we did an event and Jackson was like, fuck, you can tell every single one of your clients.
Yeah.
Because they all move exactly
Move
the
good.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, that's good. And then you get someone you're like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
So I've just got to work in this space, but also I've got to work in this space and be better than your previous experience. And if you
Absolutely.
don't PB, it's 100% my fault. And it's like, fuck.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. Versus like, I've got 6 months to make you something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.